Content in this podcast is not legal, financial, or investment advice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another edition of Metaverse Matters. I'm Mike DeNunzio, the founder of Pebble Ventures, and I'm really happy to have with me today Olga Chernysheva and from DressX, which is Olga and I have known each other now for probably almost a year. We were really fortunate with one of our clients to work with DressX on a really cool activation where we had digital only styles and digital inspired styles. And it was really quite cool to see the consumers interacting and engaging with the products on the DressX app. And so, Olga, welcome. We're here today to talk about the third edition of your sustainability report. But maybe you can just give us a little bit about your background and tell us a little bit about DressX. And obviously, you guys just raised another $15 million round, so congratulations on that. But yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Michael. Hello, everyone. Absolutely happy to be here with you and to record this podcast. Thank you so much for your support and for the work together. We really appreciate everything we are doing together and continue doing. So let me start introducing the DressX for those who don't know yet. So DressX is the biggest platform of digital fashion. We have the biggest retailer of digital fashion, which you can dress on your photos. You can wear digital fashion with DressX through augmented reality looks. And we also have our NFT marketplace where we provide different NFTs with the utility. You can wear your NFTs with DressX technology and with DressX help. Also, we're a big player in different metaverses such as Decentraland, Zepeto, Roblox, Somnium, Meta. So we basically trying to cover all the digital environments and provide an opportunity for people to dress either on themselves or in their avatars, digital fashion. And when DressX was launched almost 3 years ago, one of the points why DressX was created is the sustainability aspect. And the initial idea of DressX was to provide an opportunity for people who needs to create the content and who needs to present themselves in front of their audience, the opportunity and the solution to dress themselves differently, not wearing the physical clothes, because we know that physical fashion industry was named by the United Nations one of the most polluted industries. It's the second carbon footprint emission in terms of the volume around all the industries. So to help the traditional fashion industry to become more sustainable and to reduce environmental impact, DressX provided the alternative solution, like dressing you on the photos. Why? Because we believed that at that time that digital fashion is less polluting. And I joined DressX at the very beginning. I'm one of the first team members, not founding team members. And my first task as a chief sustainability officer was to calculate the environmental impact of the digital fashion and compare it with the physical environmental impact of the physical fashion. So it's not just probably digital fashion is more sustainable or reduce the environmental impact, but we have the numbers. And our methodology showed that the production of the digital items emits 97% less carbon footprint in comparison to the production of digital items. And I think I'm going to stop here because I've been talking a lot and you asked me just to make a small introduction.
No, that's great. I'm really looking forward. So this is the third year that you've produced this report. So maybe just tell us a little bit about the background in terms of how you collect the data, who you survey, and kind of things like that, so our audience gets some perspective on where the information's coming from.
Yes, definitely. So the whole structure of sustainability report, digital fashion sustainability report, and our sustainability report is actually the first one on the market, in the industry. The industry is quite new, and the sustainability aspect is also quite new. So we are the pioneers in this reporting. So I built my report on three main goals, and the three main goals is reduce how digital fashion can help to reduce environmental impact from fashion industry. The second goal is advocating for sustainable consumption and production. And the third goal is enhancing partnerships for sustainable development. So my report is built around these three goals, or these three themes. And every year I'm doing the analysis how DressX and the industry as a whole represent or behave inside these three goals. So for the environmental impact, it's of course the carbon footprint emission and water consumption. And here what I'm doing is, first of all, I'm reporting our internal carbon footprint, even though it's just only 3%, but we still produce digital goods. We have NFT marketplace. So I trace all our carbon footprint and I report this carbon footprint. And because we want to be a zero carbon net carbon company, we work with Flow Carbon to do the offset. So I report on that side, and I work with Flow Carbon on quarterly or half the year basis, semi-annual basis, to do the offsets of what we accumulated as a company, to be sure that we are net zero company in terms of the carbon footprint. But also what I'm doing here is that I'm doing the comparison. So for example, we have a digital t-shirt, which we launch with the designer on our website. And we're selling this digital t-shirt. And let's imagine that this digital t-shirt has been produced physically. So I'm doing the comparison if this t-shirt has been produced physically or digitally, and the difference between two environmental impacts, carbon footprint and water, is what we are saving by switching from the physical production to digital production and to digital sales. And I'm reporting this part as well, showing that with the digital fashion, you can actually save quite a lot of carbon footprint and water. And this motivates people and our customers to switch to the digital. And like, not every time the person thinks maybe I can buy a new t-shirt to appear in the social media, they can go to our website, they can see how much do we save in comparison to the physical production, and make the more conscious choice. So here I'm jumping to the second goal, conscious production and consumption. And the huge breakthrough for this year, well, it's already for 2023, but we're implementing that right now. Starting from this point, every item on DressX website, and it's work in process, so maybe in the end of the month, in the end of the April, you will have this. We'll have this environmental savings information. So you as a user will be able to go to the website or to the app, and when you look in the description of the item, you will be able to see how much in terms of carbon footprint and water you save by not buying the physical item in the store, but using this item digitally. So yeah, so this is what we are doing in terms of conscious consumption and production. And of course, here with conscious consumption and production, it's also about different partnerships with brands, with companies, creating new experiences like digital experiences when we create something extra on the top of the physical item. So like you mentioned, the client we worked together where we created digital twins for some items, creating the digital experience, or recreating something absolutely new, but it was a part of the whole collection.
Can I ask a question about the conscious consumption? So
Yes.
I would imagine, given that DressX is clearly known as the leader or among the leaders for sure in the whole space, Are you starting to speak with brands, well-known, established brands who actually see this idea of conscious consumption as a positive for their business? You're not necessarily buying a physical product, but you are engaging with the brand digitally, which is also really, really positive thing for them. So are you starting to see that, or do you get any pushback on conscious consumption? Maybe if you could just talk about that a little bit.
Yes, so 2 years ago, we had an amazing example with Farfetch. I think most of you who follow DressX for a while, you know about that, when we created purely digital marketing campaign. And we dressed influencers in the items which has firstly was created physically. Digitally. And on that campaign, we saved 2.4 tons of carbon footprint, which for this small campaign, it's a lot. And if we extrapolate that for the entire industry, it would be a dramatic shift to the decreasing of the carbon footprint. And the idea of this Farfetch collaboration was to sell these items, the physical items, on demand production, and it was really great example. Unfortunately, we still need time for the entire industry to come to this idea and to implement this idea. And I've been talking a lot with other stakeholders in digital fashion or in sustainable fashion, and understand the huge impact when we can create the purely digital marketing campaigns, when we can shift towards microfactories, local microfactories, and switch to the on-demand production. And I think little by little this idea comes to the brands, and I hope they start that implementation.
Sure.
We're not there, but the work is there, and I can hear and see more and more conversations to that towards that behavior. Another example, what we had, and it was last year in 2022, it was exactly 1 year, it was for the Earth Day, we had a collaboration with American Eagle.
I remember.
And American Eagle worked with denim, and we all know that denim is really heavy, using the water for the production of the fabric.
Sure.
And American Eagle does a lot of work to reduce the water consumption during their production. So what they did last year with us, they created a collection of 3 jeans with special effects, and the special effects were around water. So we brought this attention of the customers that denim production actually requires a lot of water. And by using these very fun and very cool animated jeans, you first of all can contribute in this campaign, in Earth Day campaign, to save water and to bring more attention, but also you can save water yourself, because instead of going to the shop and buy a new pair of jeans to post something in social media, you use this digital funny pair of jeans and you post the content using that. So this was really cool. And just to give some statistics, we saved 86 million gallons of water during this 2 weeks campaign on the photo dressing and AR. And this is the same amount of water which 3,000 people can drink during 158 years. If you drink half of the gallon, which is 2 liters, those who lives in metrics, in other metrics, it is 2 liters. Yeah, so 3,000 people can drink during 158 years. This is the amount of water which we saved when these AR looks and meta looks have been proposed and used by the clients during this just 2 weeks campaign.
Right.
So yeah, the statistics is just amazing.
Yeah, those are great. Both those campaigns, I remember them well, and super interesting approaches. I actually remember myself trying on some jeans and having some fun with it, even though I'm not necessarily the target market. It was fun to do. So good.
Yeah,
so,
it was very fun. Yeah.
And then tell us about the third goal.
Yeah, so the third goal is, I think it's my favorite, kind of, it's the partnerships. It's just because my goal as a chief sustainability officer is to bring as much awareness about these numbers, about the environmental impact of the digital fashion, and let's say convince people from the traditional fashion industry to use this technology to decrease their environmental impact. So in my opinion, the more partnerships we have, the more use cases we have, the better for the industry. So different stakeholders, different businesses, different brands from fashion industry and not necessarily from fashion industry can see that and start using fashion industry, digital fashion industry. So the partnerships we had last year, well, we partner with Fashion Impact Fund, amazing people. And we, first of all, what we did, we created SDG Sustainable Development Goals inspired collection, because even though we're almost there, we have just only 7 years left to achieve sustainable development goals, which were set up in 2001 and 2000. There are still people who doesn't know what is it, sustainable development goals. So the collection was targeted to bring more awareness through the very funny and interesting way to interact with the digital fashion. And then thanks to this partnership, we participated, DressX participated as a speaker in annual United Nations Conscious Fashion and Lifestyle Network annual meeting. And it was an amazing opportunity, because this was the first time when representatives from digital space, from Metaverse and NFT space, people were invited into the United Nations, and we had an opportunity to talk about digital fashion, Metaverse, and to explain to the traditional stakeholders that it's not a scary thing, that yes, NFT has a huge environmental footprint because of the proof of stake, but a proof of work, but we still can do good things using this technology. It was amazing, and we continue working with Fashion Impact Fund, with United Nations partners, and we recreated United Nations Sustainable Development Goal pin. You can find it in DressX app. You can try it on, and we're thinking how we can bring more awareness about sustainable development goals with this pin having in digital sustainability. So this is a very huge work, and it's not like commercial, but it's very important stakeholder. And I think it's very important to continue working together and bringing technology to that very traditional institution.
Yeah, 100%. It's incredible exposure for the concept, for what you guys are doing. So yeah, completely agree. And maybe can you talk a little bit about who do you see? Are there certain age groups, certain geographic regions that are really embracing the idea of digital fashion? And also maybe a little bit about where the technology is going, and will AI have a substantial impact on everything you're doing? Because the idea that, especially for those who like to post on social, even not like influencers, but just normal people who are just having fun with the idea, the ability to showcase different outfits and try different brands and have fun with the technology has tremendous potential. And so I'd just be curious, who are the early adopters? And, again, are there any geographic differences? Anything you could share would be great.
Yes, it's a very good question, because our geographic is actually international. However, yes, we have certain markets which represent, certain countries which represent mostly, and of course it's United States. One of the biggest markets, it's United States, and it's in terms of the digital fashion, like let's say Web 2 off-chain solutions, what we are providing, and also including on-chain solutions like NFT marketplace and NFTs. Of course, the second biggest market is Europe, with specifically like countries, France, Italy, UK. These are the biggest countries. And of course, we have representation all around the world, but yeah, the biggest two, it's United States and Europe. In terms of gender, since DressX provides different solutions, our ecosystem is quite large. We provide, like I say, the photo looks, the meta looks, which you can put on your photo and post on social media. We have AR looks, which is instant digital fashion dressing. Again, very easy for social media. We have skins or wearables for different metaverses or environments like Roblox, which is off-chain game.
Sure.
Plus NFT marketplace. We cover different age and absolutely different population, different people, because yeah, in Roblox we know that it's more Gen Z. NFTs, it's another category which is maybe a little bit older, and just because of the technology and how it was created and how it was developed. And digital dressing and AR, it's another category of people, and they are mostly like, yes, content creators who post content to the social media. So I cannot say that we have specific gender, but it's just very like fluid among different age categories.
Yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. I mean, you're in so many different places, right? I mean, Roblox is very different than Decentraland, and if you do Sandbox, that'll be even different as well. So for sure, I was just curious if you were getting any particular demographics that are really into the digital fashion. So do you have any plans for this upcoming Earth Day? Any special announcements, anything like that? I mean, obviously you have the report and you're going to be talking about that quite a bit, but I was just wondering if there's anything on the horizon that our readers our listeners should be looking out for.
Definitely in terms of the content, yes, the report is one of the things, because it has a very interesting displacement rate analysis. I conducted that analysis in the early stage when DressX has been created, and definitely we didn't have enough answers, like the big database, but still we had some understanding of the market at that time, and it was very interesting to make it to collect the answers in summer 2022, and just to make the comparison how the market shifts. And I can see that more and more people going into the digital fashion. And for example, we ask people in both questionnaires if they bought at least one digital item, and if they say that yes, they bought at least one, we ask them, would you buy another one? And in 2020, the percentage of people who said positively, it was 54%.
Okay.
And in 2022, it was already 77%.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very, for me, it's a very huge shift towards the digital fashion. And yeah, so we basically ask questions, just trying to measure this displacement rate, how digital fashion can replace physical fashion. And of course, one of the use cases, and we've been talking about it, is the content creation. So we ask them if they think if using the digital fashion helps them, makes it easier to create the content for the social media. And in 2020, we had the just only 38% people saying yes. And in 2022, it's already 61% of respondents who say yes, it's much easier to create the content with digital fashion. And this like fulfillment of or fulfill the need of buying something. We know that we have a habit to go to the shop and to buy something just to fulfill the need of buying something. And I asked this question to our respondent 2 years ago, and now, if they think or if they have the feeling that digital fashion can fulfill that need of buying and replace buying physical items. And in 2020, just only 15% of respondents answered positively to this question. And in 2022, it's been already 25% of respondents. And for me, this is one of the most important questions and one of the most important behavior shifts. So when I was talking about consumption and production and more sustainable consumption and production and conscious consumption, this is actually what I was talking about. This shift to understand and to think beyond physicality, to think of ownership of the items beyond physicality, and to fulfill the need of buying something or owning something beyond physical items. And the digital asset, digital wearable, digital look or NFT art can fulfill this need, just because it doesn't create extra waste, because in the end of the day, we haven't been talking about waste till now, but in the end of the day, every physical item creates the physical waste, which probably end up somewhere on the landfill. With digital assets, digital goods, or digital wearables, we avoid with this stage. We don't create any physical waste, which is also very good for us, for our environment. And to have something, to possess something with less environmental footprint, less carbon footprint, less water, less waste, is much more healthier, sustainable, and better for me than having something in physical. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have physical things around us. No, of course not. We cannot stop using the tables or laptops or wearing clothes to protect us from the sun or from the cold weather. But what I want people to start thinking, and this is what I mean when I talk about conscious consumption, is that you put your consciousness when you buy things and you ask yourself, do I really need this? Or maybe I can get it physical, but I can get it digitally and interact with it digitally, like post a photo with a digital handbag or hat, and then that's it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and that to me is one of the most exciting things. Well, first, the increases in the positive increases that you receive to many of those questions are really encouraging, because they're 50% greater, more than 50% greater. Those are pretty significant jumps, especially when you think about fulfilling a need. And over the next couple of years, as the technology gets even better with draping and ease of use and things of that nature, this is going to be super fun for people, because they could wear 3 different outfits during a day on a Zoom call, or they can post different things on social media. And even for brands that are starting to think about this, the ability to provide different colorways and other things to their consumers that they can wear digitally for people who like a particular brand. But to me, what's really exciting is, even in the coming years, as the technology continues to improve, this is going to open up incredible business opportunities for brands. For example, they may produce a couple of styles of a jean in a couple colorways, but they might be able to offer 15 different versions of that digitally, that the consumer can engage with, they can have fun with, they can purchase, they can do all sorts of different things. And if I want to wear different outfits on a Zoom call a couple of years from now, I could wear one to a certain meeting at 10 a.m. and a different meeting at 2 p.m. So tell us a little bit about the technology as we wrap it up here, and kind of where it's going in terms of fitting and making it easy to do that and all that kind of stuff. And then how are you releasing this report? Where might the consumers or listeners read it? Are you doing a special webinar or anything like that, which you did a few years ago? Maybe if you could just talk about those couple things, and then we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, sure. Well, in terms of the technologies, we had a great conversation during Paris Blockchain Week a couple of weeks ago, and we were discussing that Metaverse Fashion Week is amazing, and it was even before it was launched and it happened. Roblox is great, but the more time we spend in front of the computers, and we have all the Zoom meetings and calls, and it's amazing to be dressed in different digital outfits, which is coming. For example, at DressX is coming quite soon. But people still want and value the interaction in physical world.
Sure.
And the question is how we can bring this fun and this cool things from the digital space to the physical world. And the answer is AR, augmented reality.
Right.
However, right now, it's still very complicated. We still have a source which helps us. Right now it's our smartphones, which we can use to record the selfie or the look in the mirror and then post it. So we need a technology which allows us to interact with the physical world, with people around us, not with the smartphone, but with something. Well, so I think we understand that it should be some kind of sort of glasses which we can wear, and they allows us to interact with each other. They allows us to look around us and to the real world, but it helps us to bring the the layer of the digital world with us. And probably some markers on the clothes which will allows to enable the digital layer. So about the report, of course, it's a huge thing, and we absolutely proud of this report, this year report. So first of all, everyone will be able to find it quite soon on DressX website, because in sustainability tab, because we're all transparent about our actions in sustainability, and we make it visible to everyone. To be honest with you, we haven't planned anything yet. We are in this internal discussion how we're going to present, but definitely we will do some kind of the presentation and webinar. It's planned for the internal DressX team, because it's very important to communicate this knowledge and these findings within the team and also with external stakeholders. But we will plan definitely something, and I think it will be around the Earth Day to enhance this this week when everyone is going to talk about sustainability and to present the data.
Wonderful. Well, for those listening, you can go to DressX.com. Obviously, go to the Apple Store. And are you on Android as well, or just Apple for the app?
Both Android and
You
Apple.
are both, yeah. So go to the stores and download the app, try on a bunch of stuff virtually, and take a look at the website. There's a lot of really interesting things. DressX is without a doubt, kind of leading the way here, and we're looking forward to more to come. So thank you, Olga. Really appreciate you sharing what you've been doing, and congratulations on your third year of this report. And we'll look forward to seeing it in a few weeks.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for this amazing conversation.
You're welcome. Great.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Metaverse Matters by Pebble Ventures. If you enjoyed the content, please do subscribe and rate the show. You could also connect with us on LinkedIn at pebbleventures.com or directly at mike@pebbleventures.com. If you're a brand exploring the space, or you're already testing and are looking to develop next-level strategies, please do reach out. We'd welcome an introductory conversation to learn more about your goals, where you are in the process, and share our thoughts about your business. Have a great day.